find them? So I have kept my written my observations. I'll tell you in the coming slides. Now consider the following examples. I have waked up at 5 a.m. today. I am working since yesterday. Myself assumed. Legitimate sentences are: I woke up at 5 a.m. today. What's the reason behind it? The first reason is form. What's the form here? V1, V2, and V3 were form. It must be wake, woke, and woken instead of waked up. The syntax. I woke up but not waked up. Number 3 is the context. What's the context here? When you are supposed to write a diary before going to bed, you're talking about an action that began and ended in the past, and it is no link to the present. So in that sense, you can use past simple according to the context, and the syntax must follow according to the context. And you need to be well aware of the V1, V2, and V3, I mean present, past, and past participle verb form, otherwise it will create semantic errors and syntactic errors. The second sentence was, I have been working since yesterday. This is the legitimate sentence, and the incorrect statement was, I am working since yesterday. What's the reason behind it? The reason is, time adverb can be used in present progressive verb form. Rather, present perfect progressive form is more suitable in this case. This is, or I am Yashwant instead of myself Yashwant. Can you, for example, when you're attending an interview, in that interview, the interviewer asks you, introduce yourself. Have you ever heard of any interviewer asking you, yourself introduce? You'll be disagreed with me, and you'll not agree with me. So we cannot say yourself introduce. So in that sense, you cannot say myself Yashwant. What's the reason behind it? So you might not have heard of yourself introduce. The reason is, reflexive pronoun can be used at the beginning of a sentence as subject. So it cannot be used at the very beginning of a sentence as subject. Look at the above sentence. You can see red waves. Refer to slide number 1 as well. In that slide number 1, when I wrote QEYZIZZ, that there were red waves. So the red waves were there because of the errors, the spelling errors. I have enlarged my slide. That's why the errors are not seen, especially beginning, right? I can show you. You can see here BEGINING. So there is a spelling error. I mean, there should be double N. 2N must be there, but there is only one. That's why it shows red waves. So how does a computer find errors? Computers find errors because their input is given to the machine. So machine can find errors what it is fed. But human brains, they are not fed. Rather, they as per the knowledge they acquire, accordingly they find errors. When our brain fails, I mean your knowledge, you are not able to apply your knowledge in the right field, in the right context, there you're not able to find the errors. If a computer can find errors, then why can't you? So what's the difference between error and mistake? So what's an error? When you uttered tongue twisters at the very beginning of, say, 3 sentences, 3 tongue twisters I shared there in the slide, and when you uttered tongue twisters, you made errors or mistakes. Again, one more question. There you made errors or mistakes. So till now, I have been asking questions to you, errors or mistakes, mistakes or errors. We need to know what's the little bit difference between error and mistake. So my observations that when some of you had that tongue twisters, Fumbling is a matter, right? The case is a factor when you utter, sometimes you fumble, and out of that fumbling, we make pronunciation mistakes. Wet laid, while telling, sometimes there is a shift in the vowel shift is there. Instead of E sound, sometimes it becomes A sound. And D sound, sometimes it gets extended to T sound. And chicken and kitchen, we pronounce it chicken and kitchen instead of chicken and kitchen. It's not kitchen or chicken. So what's an error? An error is nothing but an unintended deviation from the rules of a particular language. I do repeat, an error is nothing but an unintended deviation from the rules of a particular language. Examples there, I'm giving an example. Teacher, when did you wake up today? The monitor replies, I waked up at 5 a.m. today. So it has been discussed before. I don't want to repeat it again. We have already discussed the revisions in detail in the previous slides. Can you tell me now why such error or errors learners commit? Our learners in India, English is taught as a target language or second language. So AL2, language 2, second language learners, they commit errors. Why? The reason is lack of linguistic competence. What is the linguistic competence, all of you, and try to understand those. Some of the teachers are here and some of my colleagues are there. The students, previous students are there, and some new faces are there. So those who know linguistic competence, fine. Those who do not know, let me inform you. Acquiring the internal properties of language, I mean part of speech, syntax, semantics, morphology, etc., to encode the message formally in lexis and grammar. So linguistic competence is all about the internal properties of language. So these are parts of speech, syntax, semantics, morphology. Syntax is all the structure. Semantics is all about the meaning. Morphology is all about study of the words. So due to the lack of linguistic competence, in brief, let me simplify it. Due to the lack of grammatical knowledge, right? So we are having these kind of mistakes. So error is a systematic deviation. So let me discuss about mistake. The tongue twisters I shared at the very beginning of the presentation. I saw him cooking chicken in the kitchen, which is wet, laid, late, wet, laid, wet. So, dear student friends, when you utter these sentences, some of you fumble to utter the right utterances, though you know it. Why did it happen? It happened due to slip of the tongue or misspeaking. It is written error or speech error. So speech error, when you talk about speech error, by this time, you might have got some sort of impression that when you think of error in a written statement, it's an error. But while speaking, while pronouncing, speech, by the word speech, you might be getting that speech. It's all about, communicative or English, or you are having a conversation, you are having a communication with somebody, right? You're communicating to somebody. So competence and performance, they originate from the speech error. So two words you should remember, competence and performance. Let me explain a little bit what is competence, what is performance. Some students, they're very strong in written English. They're very strong in grammar. The grammatical knowledge is very strong, but they fail to perform on the stage, or when performance, it's a matter of performance, they fail to utilize the knowledge they do have. So competence, performance, they are two different things. Say you are supposed to, right now, all of you are you're sitting silently and listening to me, right? I was a bit nervous, to be honest, at the very beginning of the presentation, before the presentation. So I should tell you a line: nervousness is good until it hampers your confidence. The time it will hamper your confidence, then it will you'll suffer from many speech errors. So competence and performance, these two words, they're associated with speech error. So what is communicative competence? You should understand, when the word competence or performance comes, you should know two people, and one of them is Dale Hymes, the American scholar who talks, who is origin of this word communicative competence. It is an ability to encode and encode it appropriately in the context. So it's an ability of the student to encode it appropriately in the context. I mean, you know, for example, you want to, the teacher is taking the class and you want to get in. In that case, the context decides, the context helps you that I need to tell this line that may I get in, sir. So that is your competence. You know the structure and you need to tell it. So communicative competence is all about the ability to communicate in a specific context. Next comes to linguistic performance. When it comes to performance, you should know one name is Noam Chomsky. In 1960, he just thought of this linguistic performance. It is the actual use of language in communication. I mean, it means that you know the structure, you have the linguistic competence with you, but you need to perform it on stage or off stage, right? You're on the field or off the field, you need to speak. Unless you speak, somebody or nobody will come to know that how you speak and how well you speak, how badly you speak. So it's all about performance. So competence and performance. When you are not competent about the grammatical areas, you will surely create linguistic errors over there. But when it comes to speaking, right, it's all about performance. So due to that, due to nervousness or due to lack of self-esteem, confidence, you make errors there. So what's mistake? Mistakes are speech performance errors that occur due to slip of tongue or misspeaking. So these are speech performance errors. While speaking, we make mistakes. So mistake is an error, no doubt. So it is a deviation, conscious or unconscious, from the intended form of an utterance. So it is a deviation. Deviation from what? Sometimes conscious. You will see many of the speakers, right, even many of the teachers even, while introducing themselves, they begin with myself XYZ. So it is conscious or unconscious. It may be they know it, but they make it. Why do they make it? So you can feel it's conscious or unconscious. It is a deviation from what? From the intended form of an utterance. You want to speak. I can give one example. I was attending one seminar. It's a national level seminar in Solawala Women's College, and there I will not tell the names. The principal came and hosted the chair, chaired the meeting. Due to some an urgent piece of work, she left the meeting and gave it to another person over there in charge. And the teacher said, he is normal. Sorry, she is normal. Actually, right now I said, I wanted to say she is normal, but it is a misspeaking, slip of tongue, right? I said he is normal because it's all about he, she, sometimes it happens. So, but you have to be very cautious to find your own errors. So she is normal, right? The teacher said she is normal. So being a teacher, she's a teacher, or being a teacher, she's telling she's normal. So it deviates the intended form. She wants to tell, she wants to mean, she doesn't want the principal dead. Rather, she wants to inform that the principal is not here, right? I'll be taking care of the meeting henceforward. But wants to speak something, but while speaking, it happens. So there is a gap. That's why we have mistakes. Hope I'm clear to you. If you're having any kinds of queries, all that, do keep it, do note down. We can have a discussion towards the end. So in short, we make mistakes when you fail to utilize the knowledge appropriately. So we know we have knowledge, but we fail to utilize the knowledge appropriately. That's why we have mistakes.